Hey, good morning. Welcome to the Daily Coffee Chat with Ryan Frank. It is Ryan Frank coming at you. Welcome YouTube, welcome Facebook, welcome podcast listeners, wherever you're catching today's coffee chat. So glad that you are here. Thank you for joining me. Today, I'm excited to introduce you to some guests. You know Esther Moreno. Esther is going to be on here. We're also going to be talking with Devin Stover and Andrew Brooks, who are a couple of great kids pastors and part of the I Love KidMin community. I would love to hear from you. If you have any questions, text them to me at the number right there, 833-792-6372. Coming to you from KidsMatter HQ this morning. We've got about 20 executives from Indiana Wesleyan University that are using our training center yesterday, today, and tomorrow for an offsite meeting. And so we are excited to host these Indiana Wesleyan friends here in the building today. We are busy these days trying to serve you, trying to get the next issue of the magazine out the door. It was supposed to upload this past week, but we're delayed. It's going to upload next week. But we got a great issue of KidsMatter coming to you. Hey, while we get started, let me do something fun. We've got a brand new, Andy, if you can make it where I can share the screen. It's not letting me share the screen. It says host disabled, attendee screen sharing. You might have to go back into Zoom and make it where I can share the screen, or make me the host for a minute or something so I can share my screen. That might be the easiest, Andy. Just make me the host. Perfect. Okay. I want to show you something brand new at KidsMatter that a lot of you have downloaded the last little bit, and I'm pretty excited about it. All right, let me find it. Give me 1 second. It's called Love It or Leave It. This is a super fun on-screen game. Here it is. Okay, love it or leave it. Let's see how well you do on this game. Tell me if you love it or if you would rather just leave it. What do you think? Do you love it or leave it? Are you tomato fans? Leave a comment and let me know in the comments. Okay? If you love tomatoes, say love it. If you would rather leave it, what about raisins? Raisins. Not a fan of raisins. Not a fan of raisins. We'll do one more. Yeah, ooh. That is definitely an ooh for me. One more. Ooh, avocado. I'm going to comment in. Let me see your comments. Boom. All right. How fun was that? I can't even turn it off. There we go. All right. Brand new game over at KidsMatter. Go check it out. It is called Love It or Leave It. Great icebreaker game, crowd breaker game for kids. You could do on Zoom, or you could do it in your regathering the next time kids come together. Good morning, everybody. It's good to see Julie here. Susan from Kentucky. Good to see you, Susan. David Knight, who's going to be a guest with us next week on Wednesday. David Knight, good to see you. Amy Bates, good morning. Jasmine, good morning. Catherine Wagner, good morning. Catherine, I love it. You are one of the most faithful viewers of the coffee chat when we go live in I Love KidMin every day. I'm so glad you're here. Charlotte Hanskin is here. Elise Wendell, Elise, Mitch Jensen, good morning. My friend Amy Goebel, good morning. Lisa Wood, good morning. So glad that you are here. Hey, I want to read you some scripture. First, let me tell you a funny story. So I woke up in the middle of the night, not last night, but the night before, to the TV playing, which tells me Beth has woke up in the middle of the night, and she's turned the TV on. So I get up, I go to the restroom, which is way too much information for you, I know. Come back, middle of the night, and we lay down, and she has decided to turn on Hoarders. I don't know why, but she was scrolling through Netflix. Have any of you ever watched Hoarders? And we ended up staying up 3 a.m. watching this episode of Hoarders, where these people, bless their hearts, I mean, they had their house was packed. If you ever watched Hoarders, I mean, you're climbing through stuff, getting through rooms. Their cars were full of stuff. Their yard was full of stuff. And the whole premise behind the Hoarders show is that you've got to, you need to get into the mindset, I need to clean this up, right? I need to get rid of some stuff. I need to throw some stuff away. I need to change my lifestyle. I don't need all of this. And it is a journey as you watch these people that really many would say have a mental illness and that they just can't get rid of stuff and they're hoarding stuff. And as they try to get them where they are willing to throw stuff away. And we showed part of that episode to our girls yesterday, and they just couldn't believe all the stuff. Let me read to you from Hebrews chapter 10. I'm going to read it right here out of my NIV that I keep in my office. Hebrews 10, verse 35. Get this. Do not throw away. Now, let me pause. There's a lot of stuff we need to throw away, okay? I talked about Hoarders, the Hoarders show. I mean, their house is full of stuff, but there's stuff we need to throw away. I mean, stuff that we need to throw away, like literally throw away, like trash in my car, right? I need to clean out my garage. And then there are things in our life, in our thought life, that we need to throw away. There are things in my heart, sins that in my heart that I throw away. Get this, the author of Hebrews, we don't know who it is. Well, we know God is the author. We don't know who the writer of Hebrews was. Hebrews 10:35, do not throw away your confidence. Do not throw away your confidence. It will be richly rewarded. If there is something that you and I need more of in our lives as leaders, it is confidence. Confidence. Leadership and confidence go hand in hand. You've got to grow in your confidence as a leader. Don't throw away your confidence. It will be richly rewarded. You need to persevere so that when you have done the will of God, you will receive what he has promised. You need to persevere. You need to be patient. Be patient. So much of growing in your confidence and developing as a leader, it's a patience game. I tell people this all the time. It's a patience game. It's a patience game. And listen, friend, I hope that today, because you've been a part of this chat, this coffee chat, that you grow your confidence. In fact, Esther, who's going to come on at the end, is going to talk to you about a couple confidence killers and how to overcome them. Write down Hebrews 10:35. Make a note of it. Screenshot it. Do not throw away your confidence. It will be richly rewarded. Devin Stover, jump on here with me, Devin. Devin is a part of our I Love Kid Men community. I think, Devin, you joined our Facebook group a little over a year ago, and you have participated in some coffee chats. Devin, let me get you to turn your camera on. I'm going to add, there we go. Now you'll get a prompt to start your camera. What's going on, Devin? How are you?
Doing good. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well. Doing well. Devin, I think you joined I Love Kidman Facebook group in 2018. Does that sound right?
That sounds about right. Yes, sir.
Yeah. I only know that because when I went to send you a Facebook message yesterday, it told me that, which is pretty cool. And it caught my attention that are you right now working or living in Pensacola, Florida?
Yes, sir.
Nice. What church are you at?
So I'm at Central Chapel, which is really in the central part of Pensacola. So it's pretty cool how we're called Central Chapel,
I
and we're
love it.
located directly in the middle of Pensacola itself.
I love it. That's cool. I don't know if you know, part of my background has to do with Pensacola, Florida.
Okay, cool.
Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Don't judge me, okay?
No
But
problem.
I went to seminary at Pensacola Christian College.
Okay, yeah, that's right down the road from where I'm at.
Is it really?
Yes, sir.
That's cool.
Like
All right.
maybe a month. So
Went to church at Marcus Point Baptist Church when I was in seminary, which isn't too far from there as well. So where's home for you, Devin?
home is actually Birmingham, Alabama.
Okay. And did you move to Pensacola for this job at this church?
Yes, sir, I did. So I moved back in mid-December for a part-time position at the church.
Okay.
Just because I felt like I was really supposed to actually be here, and everything actually fell into place perfectly. So I mean, it just shows me that this was where I was supposed to be at this time.
I love it. I love it. How old are you, Devin?
Almost 25 on Saturday.
Nice. So did you go to school to be in the ministry?
Yes, sir. I went to Emmanuel College over in Franklin Springs, Georgia.
Okay. Did you intend on being in children's ministry?
Either children's ministry or youth ministry.
Gotcha.
At that time, it was more so youth ministry, but I still loved engaging with kids and being with kids and actually acting like a kid most of the time. So.
Love it. Love it. So you blend right in. So
Yes,
tell
sir.
us part of your, I know because you and I talked yesterday, but tell us part of your journey. You moved to Pensacola, Florida. You started this church. Tell us about it.
Yes. So in January, I started my position as a kids pastor.
Yeah.
But the part about this church, it was an older generation church. And so when I came in, it was more so restarting the kids ministry from the ground up, which made it very interesting and also very cool at the same time, because we were creating a new culture to bring a modern age kids ministry into this area specifically for this church.
Yep.
So the journey was a little rough at start. I went, I opened all the gates and tried to change everything on the first Sunday. Bad mistake.
Bad mistake. Yep.
Bad mistake. Then after like the second Sunday and thereon, I kind of took it back a few notches and slowly and gradually, made slow changes throughout to where all the kids can adapt. But one of the biggest challenges I've had is finding volunteers or, finding people who actually wanted to serve with the kids and be with kids.
Yes.
And as soon as I found people, or at least a couple, an awesome couple, COVID happened and we had to shut our doors. And so trying to connect during this time, during the quarantine and everything with our kids and volunteers has been honestly very difficult, very difficult.
Yeah.
And so it's funny that you mentioned the Hebrews verse about leadership and confidence.
Yeah. Yeah.
My pastor during this whole time, ever since I've been here back in December, he's been that rock. He's been that source of confidence and just that perseverance to keep on pushing through. I've honestly been blessed, and this is why I know that I'm supposed to be here. It's because he is that pastor that will persevere, and he's there for you whenever you need him.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. So lots of questions I could ask you. So Devin, tell me this: what have you learned over these last few months? Like one or two life lessons or ministry lessons that you maybe wouldn't have learned had you not gone through this pandemic.
Connect with people as fast as possible. Create relationship as fast as possible.
Yeah, that's smart.
Authentic relationships, not just surface level.
Smart.
Authentic relationships.
Yeah.
That way, it'll get you a long way.
Yes.
Especially during this time.
Yes. Yep.
That's my main one right there.
Have you tried to build some of those relationships with families, with volunteers?
During this time, I've tried to. There's one couple that has I think a fifth grader. They're awesome. And so we're building that relationship there. And their daughter's fully engaged too. And so that part's at least working out.
Nice, good. If you're going to pick my brain and ask me a question about something, what would you ask me? I'm putting you on the spot.
Yeah. So in this position, at least in my position, how would you connect with volunteers, or at least establish and connect with volunteers?
Yep. Here's what I would recommend. I would do it one at a time. It can be a little overwhelming when you think, and I don't know how big your church is, but if you've got all of these families and all of these potential volunteers, all of these church members, don't overthink it. Do it one at a time. So I would go into every day, Devin, thinking, who is somebody that I could connect with today? And it's going to start, especially if you're new to church and people don't really know you a whole lot. It might be a postcard that you send in the mail. It might be a phone call. It might be, hey, could I Zoom with your kids today, or could I FaceTime with your kids today just to see how they're doing? But I would go into every day thinking, who is one person or one family that I can make a really good connection with today? And I know it's not going to be face-to-face. It's not going to be, hanging out, eating burgers or hot dogs on the back deck, but who can I connect with? And go at it one family at a time. And don't overthink it. Sometimes I think we really overthink it. We feel like we've got to have all of these strategies, and you might be feeling the pressure, Devin, that, hey, I'm newer at this ministry, and I've almost had to rebuild this or build it from scratch, and I've got all this work to do. Right now, just focus on relationships and connecting one at a time. And then as things come back to normal, whatever that normal is, I think that those connections that you made, and then as you start repeating those connections, they're going to pay off. People will remember them. People work always trumps paperwork. And I think in KidMin, it's tough because we are always trying to plan the next thing. And especially during a pandemic like this, we're trying to figure out what's this summer going to look like, what's this fall going to look like. And I've got to prepare this and plan this and put this together. But at the end of the day, we are shepherds. And I think the best investment of your time right now, Devin, and anybody that's listening on the coffee chat right now, is make connections with people. Make connections with people. Make connections with people. Get on the phone and just call and check on people. You don't need to worry about recruiting for the fall or for the winter, or who am I going to use to staff this event this fall. Just connect with people, connect with people, connect with people. I think that'd go a long way for you, Devin.
Well, thank you for that, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Let me ask you one last question. What word of encouragement would you give to someone, Devin, who maybe is in your shoes, that maybe they're newer to church, or maybe they've been there a while, but they feel like they're all alone. They're kind of starting from scratch. Maybe they had a ministry team and some people moved away, and now it's like, I've got to rebuild. What's just a word of encouragement you would give to somebody?
Find that source of confidence, whether it's reading through scripture, or like me, for instance, have that person to go to and that you can talk to, that could be there for you whenever you need them. Also, to just really, give you ideas to help you brainstorm and pick your brain, but also to, ultimately just be there for you. That's ultimately what's helped me. And I believe, just in anybody's situation, to have that rock for you, that you can always go to whenever you need it.
Love it. Devin, keep up the great work. Thanks for you've done a great job. Thanks for being a part of the I Love KidMin community. You subscribe to KidsMatter magazine, Devin?
No, sir, I do not yet.
Okay. So, send me an email, ryan@kidsmatter.com, with your address, and I'll give you a subscription for jumping on here with me today. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Devin. All right. Hey, I love talking to Devin. I wanted you to connect with him because I think a lot of you can resonate with him. You're at a smaller church, or you're just getting started. Devin here was trying to build something, and then COVID struck, and he's like, feels like he's back at square one. One of the best investments of your time that you can make right now is to pick up the phone and call somebody. Don't overthink it. You don't need to worry about all these fancy Zooms and live streams and Facebook rooms and meetups. Just start picking up your phone and calling somebody. Even if you just make one good phone call a day. That's 7 in a week. That's 28 in a month. That's going to pay off big time. And then if you can squeeze in 2 phone calls a day, money. All right. That is money. Hey, big shout out to Monica at KidsMatter. I was meeting with her this morning, and I'm going to tell you the truth. My mind was a little blown. Look at this. I'm going to share my screen with you. I have not checked the stats in a few months, which isn't good. I should be doing better at this. But this morning, check this out. KidsMatter Pinterest. I want you to look at this number in the middle. 299,000 monthly viewers, not monthly views, viewers, people, unique people every month that are using the KidsMatter Pinterest and clicking these pins. And if you've not been on here in a while, friends, you got to check it out. Okay. She's got a new board. Well, first of all, there's going to be boards for any of the VBSs for this summer. You're going to find boards. Okay. The newest one she told me today that she's been working on is what's in our church bag. So she's got a whole board. I don't know if I clicked the right thing there or not, but it's basically what can you put in the busy bags at the church. Sorry, I couldn't think of the word busy bags at the church. There is all kinds of stuff on here. You're going to be amazed. For VBS, volunteer appreciation. I don't feel like I'm clicking the right thing on here. Okay, here we go. I wanted to see all boards. That's what I want to see. Thank you. Here's what I was missing. Okay, there's busy bags. Okay, there's busy bags. And then we get into all of these VBSs. Okay, are all right here. We love our volunteers boards. Volunteer recruitment craft corner. This is crazy. She's updating this every day. And get a load out of this. 299,000 monthly viewers. Thank you, Monica, for all your hard work. Andrew, jump on here with me. Andrew Brooks is the elementary pastor at Southern Hills.
That's right.
Corey, I said that. Southern Hills Christian Church.
Yeah, the church at City Station.
This church at City Station.
That's right.
Now I said don't tell Corey I said this because Andrew works with the Corey Jones.
That's true. I do get the privilege of working with Corey Jones.
Man, I got to tell you, I'm jealous, Andrew. I love Corey to death. I love Nicole. There's probably not a month that goes by that I don't try to talk Corey into moving to Marion, Indiana, because I'm like, bro, we got to hang out more. But I can't get him to move to Marion.
Yeah,
Indiana, Andrew.
We like to go cruising together. We're vacation friends. So
have you gone on a cruise with him?
Oh yeah, we've gone on several.
Have you really?
Yeah.
Jones are
Corey and Nicole are some of our best friends.
That's pretty neat. Neat. So Corey Jones from the I Love Kidmin podcast. He was on the coffee chat yesterday. Just a great friend and voice in Kidmin. And Andrew has the privilege of working with him at the church. Now, Andrew, you're the elementary pastor I am. At this growing church. Tell us what Sunday mornings or weekends look like prior to the pandemic at your church, and then tell us what Kidmin has looked like during the pandemic.
Okay. So yeah, I was actually just figuring out what those looked like because I started in January, and so I was really just getting my feet wet. Have you only been there since
January?
No, I've been at Southern Hills for 13 years in different roles, and
on staff.
Yes,
okay.
And long story short, you may ask me about it later, but I really just I asked our lead pastor Shannon if there was anything else that if there was ever anything else that he needed me to do, I would be willing to do it. And I didn't know what I was asking for, and I got into kids ministry. And so really since January, I've been learning that world. And it is a man. Since in the 13 years that I've been there, it's grown a ton. Before COVID-19 hit, we were running 3 services on a Sunday morning and 1 on a Thursday night. Thursday night looked drastically different than Sunday morning. Just the dynamic was different, and kids are, coming out of school and being told to sit still and listen all day. And so I was really trying to figure out how to make that work. And so it was a lot more intimate on Thursday nights than it was on Sunday mornings. Sunday mornings brings the crowd, and got to have a little bit of crowd control. But we have our large group for about 20 minutes or so, where we play some games, we go through a Bible story and do some worship, and then we break into small groups. And small group leaders are incredible. I don't know how to do ministry without them.
No doubt. And you guys use Orange on Sunday mornings, right?
Yes, we do.
So what have you found as an effective way during this pandemic to connect with the kids?
Okay, so that it's been interesting. We've been doing daily videos. We call them Karaoke. And what day are we on? We're approaching, we're at 60, somewhere in there. And we've been making those together. We're in Georgia. We're back in the, we can kind of come together a little bit. So me and Corey are back to making videos together. But we were doing it separate. And we've been going through that curriculum, and we'll just talk through the video. They're short, but they're breaks for parents, to have something good for their kids to watch on YouTube for, 10, 15 minutes, however long the video is. We're bringing in volunteers. They'll share a word of encouragement, or, they'll talk about the word of the month. And like this month, determination. And so we're talking about determination. Some of our volunteers have shared stories, or just reach out and just a face, just to let the kids see them. And we attempted, it's not the best, but this is one of those things, before I get there, as if I can encourage everyone in the room. So I came from like a worship, creative arts background, and I wanted everything to be like the best it can. I can spend hours and hours on the smallest details, and we just don't have time for that. And it's really just put something out there, give them you, and that's what they want. And so we made a compilation worship video that we did, Who You Say I Am, and we got some awesome feedback. And I had just throughout the screen, I had you've probably seen them, like Jimmy Fallon, I think, kind of started the trend. And just a lot of our volunteers that were leading worship through the video and letting our kids see them. So it's cool.
Will you put that on I Love KidMin sometime?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And tag me on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Andrew, you've got so many giftings, and just like that, you've got great ideas. What do you think, looking back over your last decade of ministry, 13 years being on church staff, what's an area where you've really had to ask God? We've been talking a little about confidence. Don't throw away your confidence. We're I've really needed the Lord's help with this, because it's not my comfort zone. It's not what I would naturally want to do. What's an area?
Ministry in general.
Really? Yeah.
I mean,
what part of it?
Many of my friends would probably not say this, but I like just being at home and being with my family. And so being around people, and once we are friends, I am, yes, let's hang out. But the new conversations, meeting new people,
Yeah.
getting to that place of being able to go into a deep relationship has probably been that's my biggest area of just asking the right, I mean, taking the time. And, you know, I would rather just go home, be with my family, or hang out with the friends that I already have. That's probably the toughest part for me.
And I think a lot of people can empathize with you on that because, you would think that pastors by default are these outgoing people that love to just be around people 24/7, and some are, but some, as much as you love people, that can be a challenge.
Yeah.
What's helped you with that? I'm sure you still deal with it, but like, what have you found what do you do to really push that in your life?
I mean, to be honest, just do it. I know
just choose to do it.
Just choose to do it. I mean, it's like exercising every morning. You know, I tell my wife, I'm like, I don't, every time I go out for a run or I'm fixing exercise, I don't want to do it, but afterwards I'm glad that I did it. And I mean, it's just being bigger than yourself, really, and just doing it.
Yeah, I think that's smart. You just got.
And that's not easy. It's easy to say that, but it's another.
It is. Before we wrap up, this has been good. I do want to mention, and I talked about Andrew's claim to fame being his connection to Corey Jones. I know a lot of you probably recognize his voice.
Oh gosh, you're gonna do it, aren't you?
You probably recognize his voice because Andrew is the creator of Cool Cats and Karaoke on KidsMatter. And just saying. And if you thought, man, I've heard that voice before. That is the voice of Andrew Brooks.
It is.
So I got to know, because this has been one of the most popular downloads the last week at KidsMatter. What inspired Cool Cats and Karaoke? Let's be real now.
Okay, so Corey I've been at home with my kids and homeschooling dad and trying to do my work at.
Okay,
you can stop there. That explains it, doesn't it? That explains it. No, keep going.
So Corey and Nicole came over for dinner, and we had some burgers, and Corey was talking about games, and I was like, man, I just don't feel like I've helped Corey a lot with these. I mean, we had been filming a lot, but he had been putting stuff together on his end, and I was like, man, I need to help. And so I was actually went in. I love music, and I love making kids laugh. I love making anyone laugh, to be honest. But so I started doing this thing. I actually started whistling, and they weren't recording the way that I wanted them to. And so then I was like, what if I beatbox it? And then I started beatboxing. I was like, I sound more like a cat than I do a beatboxer. And so that's how it happened. Then I started meowing, and my boys walked in while I was recording it. They started cracking up, and so I was like, maybe I'm onto something here.
Well, I think you are. I just dropped a link into Facebook, and what did I tell you yesterday or the day before, Andrew? There's got to be a volume 2 in you somewhere coming out in the next couple of weeks.
I got some ideas.
Good. It's Andrew Brooks. Andrew, thanks for what you do to serve kids and families. Thank you for being such a good friend to my friend Corey Jones, and you're doing great work. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining me.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Enjoy vacation. Joining us on vacation. That's pretty awesome.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right. Great coffee chat. Thank you all for being here. Sean Sweet, good morning. Lindy, good morning. Amber, good morning. Esther Moreno is no stranger to you. She is one of the most active contributors to the I Love KidMin Facebook group. Esther is just an awesome person. I can text Esther 10 minutes before we go live on Facebook and say, Esther, what do you think about talking about confidence today? And she says, I'm in. Don't you, Esther?
I'm always in.
Man, you are. I owe you big time. Now, I did ask Esther yesterday to join, but I only gave her 10 minutes heads up that I'd like for her to talk about confidence. And she said, thumbs up. What's going on, Esther Moreno?
Oh my goodness, so excited to be here. I can't believe I just met Andrew, who did I mean, our kids love that. I can't wait to tell them I met a celebrity.
You did. That game, when Andrew sent it to me, he said, I don't know if this is going to work or not. And I watched it, I'm like, this is exactly the kind of game that kids are going to love. And I took it home and showed it to my girls, and they were all over it.
It's amazing. I love that game. Andrew, thank you for your contribution to the world.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, you can retire and call it a day, Andrew. You're good. And Esther, I really thought you would compliment me for actually pronouncing your last name right, Esther Moreno. It's only taken me we've known each other for like 3 years, and I finally figured out how to pronounce it.
Ryan, now I can change my name back to how it was originally pronounced.
No, please don't. Please don't. So Esther, you're busy. You're doing webinars like crazy. You are contributing to as many conversations online as you can just to encourage people. You're connecting with the kids at your church. Your cute kids at home. You're keeping them dressed and looking cute. And
half the time.
Gosh, you've got a lot going on. What's one of your secrets for keeping all these plates spinning and spinning so?
Oh my goodness. The Lord. Quality time with God, times of refreshing in his presence. You know, we're talking about confidence today. If there's anything that is a confidence killer, it's when we remove ourselves from that strength, from that source.
That's true.
You know, Ryan, I have to tell you, when this season started, I was freaking out, man, because I am not a school teacher.
Yep.
So I had to go in that prayer closet.
Oh
Lord,
my gosh.
please strengthen me.
Yeah, that's it. But so much of that it's true about being plugged in to the power source, isn't it?
Absolutely. But my confidence that I have to continue. People tell me all the time, oh my goodness, it looks like you're doing everything. You're so busy. You're doing this, you're doing that. It's that confidence source. He is that source, you know, and it's not cliche. It's not just hiding behind the Bible. It is true power. Our God is alive. He's active. And when we lean into that, we are strengthened beyond belief. So
be real with us here for a second. Like if Esther Moreno, if you get in a season where you're disconnected from that power source, what's that look like? Do you find yourself getting stressed out? Do you find yourself
oh my goodness.
being full of fear? Like what's that look like for you when you're
oh my goodness. I struggle with that all the time. You know, I think it's power when leaders come out and they're honest and they're authentic, you know, about their struggles, you know, with fear and having confidence. You know, for me, one of the things that I do that I really lean into, I make sure that I have strong people around me. I do not play with my inner circle. I need people who are strong. I need people who are confident. I need people when I'm cracking and I'm breaking and Esther Moreno is having a moment that I can go to them, I can call them up and they just energize me, you know, like the Energizer Bunny.
Yep. Yeah, that's good. I remember hearing, oh my gosh, I can't forget his name. Craig Rochelle. Wow. Okay. Craig Rochelle. I kept thinking Andy Stanley. I remember hearing Craig Rochelle preach this one time. And since then, I've heard a couple other people say it, but that you are going to be the average of your 3 closest friends. So think about your 3 closest friends, and you're going to be the average of those friends. So when you think about like where they're at spiritually, where they're at with their ambitions in life, where they're at as far as like a good mom, a good dad, a good person, just, I mean, in every area of life, so think about who are the 3 people in your life that you are the closest to, that you're talking to the most, you're texting to the most, you're hanging with the most. Are you good with being at that level? Or do you need to add some other people into your inner circle that are going to raise you to a new level? I think
Ryan,
that's
I have to tell you, I love having people in my inner circle who will tell me the truth.
Exactly.
Who will tell me the truth. They're not trying to, you know, puff up my ego. Oh, everything that you're doing is great. Oh, this is awesome. You know, My favorite people to call after I do something, or even before I do something, is, help me, be authentic. What do I struggle with? Even when, I do webinars once a month. I'll have spies on my webinar, and I'll afterwards to figure out, how can I grow? How can I become better? Where did I fall short when it came to this? Was I engaged? Just things like that. So it's so important.
It is. How have you found, Esther, and I didn't plan on talking about this, but the Lord just put this in my mind, even with your kids at home, because Beth and I have been talking a lot about this lately, like with our girls at home, building their confidence and getting them out of their comfort zone where they've got, we're praying every day that they walk with the Lord. Because at the end of the day, man, if our girls, if they're just walking with the Lord, I'm going to be one happy dad. As they grow up, if they just are loving the Lord and want to serve the Lord. But you think about this sometimes, you guys with your kids, like, really, I want my kids to be confident kids. You guys talk about that in the Moreno house? Oh
my goodness. My husband always thinks we are epically failing. I'm like, don't put me in that number.
Yep. Yeah.
It is. And I think the most important thing, we have to remember, our kids are always watching. Yes. They are always watching what we do. It's funny to see my daughter Grace, and I didn't even realize this. One day I was in my phone, so they like to steal our digital devices when we conk out because we're aging, and sometimes we sleep before they do, and they'll take our devices, and I will find videos of my daughter saying, "Hi, this is Grace Moreno, and I want to teach you about children's ministry because God loves you." And I see stuff like that, Ryan, and it just touches my heart because I know that she's watching me. Just last night, really quick, because I love that you talked about this. Last night, I had a moment, it was 11:30 at night, we were up. And I said, man, I really didn't get that quality time to worship, tonight. And I grabbed Guy, I said, do you want to just worship, with me in the room? And he's like, of course. I said, just join me when you're ready. I go in there, I light a candle. He comes in. But guess who also comes in? Grace and Gideon, our 6-year-old and our 8-year-old, they end up coming in. The lights are off. We have it dim. We got candles going. We got worship music playing. And I opened up one eye. And Gideon, he has his hands lifted and he's praising and he's worshiping God. They are watching.
And that gives me goosebumps.
They learn more from what we do than what we tell them.
No doubt.
Oh my goodness.
No doubt. Gosh, that's such a cool story. And by the way, when are Esther and Guy and Ryan and Beth actually going to hang out?
I know. Guy's coming with me to MegaCon.
we got to figure it out. Now you live in the Chicago area. No. You're in Atlanta area. You did your event in Chicago.
Yeah, I did the event in Chicago, and then now we actually live in Alabama, Huntsville, Alabama. Okay.
Who knew
cool. That I would ever be in the South?
Yeah. You like the South?
I love it. I was horrified. I'm like, I love Chicago. I love the busy life. What am I going to do in the South? I used to make fun of people who lived in the South, and now I live in the South. So I love it. It's amazing.
So did you guys move down there for Guy's job or your job, or what moved you down?
We did. Ryan, I can't wait for you to meet my husband. He is just a go-getter. He's an undercover minister for Jesus Christ.
I love it.
He's a VP, but that's his disguise.
I love it.
But we moved down here for him, and God always has something for both of us. Wherever we go, God is always doing something amazing in the Moreno household.
Love it. Esther, anything you want to say in closing? I know I had you thinking about confidence. Is there anything else that you're like, man, I really wanted to throw this into?
Goodness. I love that we're talking about confidence today. Because, oh my goodness, it's so important. It's such an important issue. I was thinking about this the other day, and, thinking about confidence killers.
Yep.
What are some confidence killers? Because that will stop us before we even get started. So, Ryan, if you just give me a second,
do it.
I want to share with you some confidence killers and how to overcome those. I want you to know that I'm growing every day. I think that I walk into a room and I'm enthusiastic and I have this energy, and people can confuse that for confidence. But I am constantly working towards that. I still get in situations where I'm completely intimidated beyond belief. Behind this smile.
Yep.
I am shaking in my boots. But I think when it comes to confidence killers, one of the number one confidence killers that we struggle with is not knowing who we are. You have got to know who you are. You have got to know that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. You have got to know that you are not here on accident, that where you are and wherever you're at. I know we get a lot of people who are in ministry. I got to be honest with you, Ryan, your videos, your shows, they offer so much more, even outside of ministry, to help people. But wherever you are in your life, knowing that you are where you are supposed to be, that God has birthed greatness, that He is a strategic God. And we have to know when we go into environments, we have to know who we are, because when we don't know who we are, we try to be somebody else. And I think, that's a huge issue. When I first got into ministry, I will never forget a position that I had. I came in as a children's pastor. We forget that we are in certain places, that God gives us favor in certain places, that people, they will pick us out. They will handpick us because of what we bring to the table. But when we don't know who we are, when we don't know what we bring to the table, now we're trying to copy everybody else around us. And I will never forget, I came into this position. I was super excited. They were pumped. Oh, Esther's here. This is going to be awesome. And I wasn't called to be who the last person was. But because I didn't know who I was, I went in there trying to be who that person was instead of who I was and what I brought to the table. So I think that, it's so important. I got to tell you, this woman, let me tell you, she was super organized. She had files and files of drawers that were handwritten.
Word.
And I'm like, okay, I got to do that. Let me get started, and I completely lost sight of who I was, what I brought to the table. So it's so important. But I have to share with you, Ryan, something that I use to help me. I have to constantly do daily declarations. I have to remind sometimes you have to write it down. One day I did, and look, this is for me. I remember I posted this, but I did this for me. And I like put my picture on things.
I love it.
Who I am.
And that's pretty neat.
It is. And I posted this. My husband gets so annoyed. Every time he said, "Stop taking over the office, Esther." Everywhere I look, Esther. I'm just
that's
everywhere.
Good, that's good.
It is. I got banners, posters, everything. But on here, I remind myself, and when I look at this, I'm just going to share a few things that is on this. I am a servant of the Most High God. I am chosen and I am built for more. When I read stuff like that, I'm not going to shrink back because I know that I have been built for more. I am worthy beyond belief. How many people, they just disqualify themselves because they don't know who they are. They don't think that they're worthy enough to do this or to be that or to approach the king, whoever that is, and to make a request. Right? I'm reading this really good book right now called The Aladdin Factor. I don't know if you read it. So it's so good. And it just talks about kind of creating that life that you want and asking for things and believing that you're worthy enough to ask them and then believing that you will receive them. So it's so important that we're constantly doing these things. Oh my goodness, here's another one. I will not allow my feelings to lead me out of all that God has for me. How we were talking about fear a second ago. How often do we allow fear to prevent us from getting all that God has for us? So just this daily declaration, constantly going back to it. I haven't read it in a while, actually. And I pulled it out because I thought about, things that prevent us, that are crippling when it comes to our confidence. I'm like, man, Esther, you need to read this more. I have a big poster of it in the office. It horrifies my husband. I said, stop focusing on my face, focus on the words, man. But it is, and I have to remind myself just constantly, I am absolutely unstoppable. I'm a conqueror. The world needs, I say this all the time, My friend used to share this with me all the time. The world needs what you have to offer, but you can't offer it if you don't know who you are. So definitely not knowing who you are will cripple confidence. It is a confidence killer. So the daily affirmations and making sure you're doing that is so important. It's so much more. When I think of King David, when I think of when we follow the life of David knew who he was, and he knew who he wasn't. We have to know who we are not. Okay.
That's true. That's true.
He knew what he brought to the table. He knew this is who I am. I can't wear this heavy armor. This is not who I am, King Saul. But I will work with what I have. I know who I am. I'll take this stone to win the battle because this is how I do it, because this is who I am. So I think that's so important. But there's another thing, Ryan, that is crippling to our confidence.
What is it?
It's not knowing who you are, but it's also not knowing what you came to do. You have to know what you came to do. You address this all the time. I remember I had this Ryan Frank season where I'm like, he used to always say, "You gotta eat the frog."
Eat the frog.
And I would get up. I was like, "Yeah, man, we're gonna get up. And I'm gonna eat this frog." And then, midnight comes and I'm like, "It's submit." But it's so true. We have to know what we came to do. You need to know when you wake up in the morning, we need to know what we came to do when we wake up in the morning. We need to, you talk about making lists. We need to make those lists. The word talks about writing the vision and make it plain. It's a reason it says that, because we are more likely, statistics show, more likely to complete a task when it is actually written down. So we have to write those things down. They keep us structured on what we came to do. When you don't know what you came to do, you'll end up doing everything.
That's true.
You end up being the cookie baker, the janitor.
Yep.
What else is it under the sun? You have to know what you came to do. Oh my goodness. In children's ministry. Yeah, I've struggled with this as I have developed as a leader. As a children's ministry leader, I have to know what I came to do. I came to structure leaders, and to train leaders and to reach families. And this is what I came to do. When I don't know that I've come to do that, especially I'll come into an environment, people will get excited. "Oh, Esther has so much energy." And I'm just smiling. "Hey, she'd be great for this ministry. Let's use her for this ministry."
Yep.
And all of a sudden, I'm not doing no more what I came to do, because I'm doing everything else and smiling over here and smiling over there. So we have to know and be confident and stick to that. Write a list, write the vision, make it plain. Know what you came to do. Know who you are. Know that what you have is important. And the world needs what you have to offer. That church that you're in, they need what you have to offer. It's a reason why you are there. Knowing what you came to do, constantly write that down. Knowing what you came to do will prevent you from scrolling on social media for 3 hours, because I know what I came to do. Knowing what you came to do will prevent you from taking a call that they talk pretty long and I can't today. I really got to get this done. Maybe after, So it's so important that we stay structured in that. But I have one more, Ryan.
Let's hear it.
I got one more. We have to know who we are. We have to know, what you came to do, but you have to know who you are called to serve. Who are you called to serve? God did not call us we cannot be all things. We can't be everything. We can't be the arm, the head, the foot. We can't be everything. We have to know who we're called to serve. For me, I'm called to serve children and families. I have to constantly keep that at the forefront of my mind. It's so important. We have to stay focused on this, Ryan. I can't tell you enough. Confidence is such a huge issue, in our world, not just in ministry, in our world, but for me as a children's ministry leader, I have to come in an environment knowing, oh my goodness, I am an ambassador for the voiceless. over here. You know, I can't afford not to be confident. Andrew, he said it, you know, we talked about confidence. How do you get over fear? He said, you do it anyway.
You do it anyway.
You do it anyway. A lot of times for me, I do it afraid, knowing who I am, you know,
Amen.
know who I am, what I was called to do, who I was called to serve. And just a bonus one before we get out of here, we got to know everyone's watching. You got to know who's watching. You know, I think that we lose sight of this. You know, something funny I love doing. This is really bad, Ryan. Don't tell me, but now I'm telling to myself. I like scrolling on Facebook.
Yeah.
What people are saying, I'm like, ooh, girl, child, you shouldn't have said that. Don't you know everybody is watching? Children are watching. Families are watching. Leaders who have the potential to transform your situation that you don't even know are watching.
They're watching.
Your pastor, he is watching.
That's
so
true.
We have to make sure that we know who's watching. And Esther Moreno is here to tell you it's everybody.
They're watching. They're watching.
They are. So all of those things are just so they're confidence killers. When you don't know who you are, when you don't know what you came to do, when you don't know who you are called to serve, when you don't know who is watching, these are the things that can cripple us in the area of confidence.
Man, that's good. Can somebody play the keys so we can open up the altar? Thank you, Esther. You are such a gift. Good words from God. That spoke to my heart. Friends, don't remember Hebrews 10:35. I read it to you earlier. Do not throw away your confidence. It'll be richly rewarded. Hebrews 10:35. Esther, how can we stay connected with you? You got a lot going on. Remind everybody what the website is.
You can follow me every social media platform at Child's Heart 83, www.childsheart83.com. Lots of fun ways that you can follow me. Follow me, be my friend. I'm gonna post this today on my page.
Do it.
That is so important to remind us to stay confident in who we are. I love that you had this conversation, Ryan. I love it. We are friends. I love it. I'm gonna convince Guy to move us to Indiana. Don't worry.
Marion, Indiana. See what he says.
Yeah, I'm just pull up into the Lucy's. That's what I'm just gonna.
Come on. Right there, baby. Fresh coffee from Lucy's and a wonderful donut this morning. All right. Esther, love you. Thanks for being here.
Absolutely.
Child's Heart 83. Go follow Esther on Instagram. Child's Heart 83. Thanks, Esther. Hey, it's been a great coffee chat. Thank you for joining me. I love KidMin. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Devin. Thank you, Esther. We've had some texts come in today, 833-792-6372. I love KidMin. Thank you for what you are doing. Thanks for what you're doing. As you prepare for Father's Day, make sure you check out KidsMatter.com. We've got a brand new lesson on the site that you're going to want to check out. It is called, if you scroll down here, it's called Sons and Daughters of the King. This is a brand new Father's Day lesson right there. And we've got some Father's Day games and downloads that you're going to check out for your Zoom, your pre-recorded service, or your live stream. I love KidMin. Be blessed. We will talk to you tomorrow. Have a great day.